So first at the UN, let's do a pop quiz. And raise your hand if you know the answer. Here's the first question. Who shouts death to America? Is it A,
No!
speakers? I've surrounded Gaza with massive loudspeakers connected to this microphone.
What's wrong with him? He's fucking psycho. My God.
Order in the hall.
Order. Oh, here he is.
To escort His Excellency and invite him to address the Assembly.
Ooh, he mad. Oh no, hey, they're leaving. Let's go. Get out. Shit.
Please, order in the hall. Please, order in the hall.
Wait, is Al-Shara staying? I wonder. Wait, did it freeze? Okay.
Please, order
Bro. It's not like fucking half of the UN just leaving for this guy. That's crazy.
in the hall. Please, order in the hall.
The Muslim countries, that's like 57 out of 193. It's like it's a bit under a third. Of the UN. It's not just them though. It's like Argentina, Chile, Bahamas, Botswana. There's one Bahrain dude staying.
Please, order in the hall, and please be seated.
Did Al-Shara get up? I don't know. I'm guessing probably did. Yeah.
Sorry guys, but Imalona's #1 fan.
Whoa! Thank you for the $10. Really appreciate that. I haven't done the thing yet though. Eh? What the fuck?
Please, order in the hall.
Order.
Mr. President,
Mr. President.
the families of our dear hostages languishing in the dungeons of Gaza. Ladies and gentlemen, last year,
Why is this badge so big? What the fuck is this? It's a hostage ribbon and a QR code. He looks like a fucking clown.
I stood at this podium and I showed this map. This map. It shows the curse of Iran's terror axis.
Isn't it out of date? Are you not currently negotiating with Syria, dude? You're not currently negotiating with the Lebanese government. Are you fucking Bro, he's such an idiot, man. He's so stupid.
This axis threatened the peace of the entire world. It threatened the stability of our region and the very existence of my country, Israel. Iran was rapidly developing a massive nuclear weapons program and a massive ballistic missile program. These were meant not only to destroy Israel, they were meant also to threaten the United States and blackmail nations everywhere.
Okay, we're gonna nuke the US.
From Gaza, Yahya Sinwar dispatched waves of Hamas terrorists. They stormed into Israel on October 7th and committed acts of unspeakable savagery. From Lebanon, Hassan Nasrallah had launched thousands of missiles and rockets at our cities, terrorizing our citizens. In Syria, the murderous dictator Assad hosted Iran's forces, tightening a noose of death around our throats.
Noose of death.
In Yemen,
what other kinds of nooses are there? Okay.
The Houthis launched ballistic missiles at Israel while choking global trade
protesters
at the mouth of the Red Sea. So what's happened over the past year? We've hammered the Houthis, including yesterday.
The who?
We crushed the bulk of Hamas's terror machine. We crippled Hezbollah, taking out most of its leaders and much of its weapons arsenal. You remember those beepers, the pagers? We paged Hezbollah. And believe me, they got the message. And
he's a fucking lunatic, man. Hang on, I didn't think I would have to be pulling this one out so quickly. This is me. This is me watching the speech right now. Actual footage. Fuck's sake. Put me down for it. Holy fuck.
Thousands of terrorists dropped to the ground. We destroyed Assad's armaments in Syria. We deterred Iran's Shiite militias in Iraq. And most importantly, And above anything else that I could say to you or that we did in this past year, in this past decade, we devastated Iran's atomic weapons and ballistic missiles programs. So here's where things stand today. Half the Houthi leadership in Yemen, gone. Yahya Sinwar in Gaza, gone.
The fucking props, man, it's so cringe.
Hassan Nasrallah in Lebanon, gone. The Assad regime in Syria.
Oh my God.
Gone.
Bro, he's literally just throwing fucking al-Shara under the bus with that as well. Like, you want a stable government out of this guy, and you're just like, hey, listen, everyone. That was me. I did that. I love that. Collaborator. Let's go. Ooh.
Those militias in Iraq, well, they're still deterred. And their leaders, if they attack Israel, will also be gone. And for Iran's top military commanders and its top atomic bomb scientists, well, they're gone too. Israel's 12-day war with Iran, which I renamed Operation Rising Lion, that's from the Bible. This 12-day war.
I can't do it, man. It's just, he's every fucking 5 seconds he's saying something mental.
Will go down in the annals of military history.
God.
Our daring pilots neutralized Iran's missile defenses and took control of the skies over Tehran. And you saw this. Israeli fighter pilots and American B-2 pilots bombed Iran's nuclear enrichment sites. I want to thank President Trump for his bold and decisive action. President Trump and I promised to prevent Iran from developing nuclear weapons, and we delivered on that promise. We removed an existential threat to Israel, and a mortal threat to the civilized world. We lifted a dark cloud that could have claimed millions and millions of lives. But, ladies and gentlemen, we must remain vigilant. We must remain absolutely clear-minded and vigilant. We must not allow Iran to rebuild its military nuclear capacities. Iran's stockpiles of enriched uranium, these stockpiles must be eliminated. And tomorrow, UN Security Council sanctions on Iran must be snapped back. Thanks to the resolve of our people, the courage of our soldiers, and the bold decisions we took, Israel rebounded from its darkest day to deliver one of the most stunning military comebacks in history. But we're not done yet. The final remnants of Hamas are holed up in Gaza City. They vow to repeat the atrocities of October 7th again and again and again, no matter how diminished their forces. That is why Israel must finish the job. That is why we want to do so as fast as possible. Ladies and gentlemen, much of the world no longer remembers October 7th. But we remember. Israel remembers October 7th. On that day, well, I'll tell you, you can remember October 7th too. You see this large pin here?
Yeah, it's quite large.
It's a QR code.
Oh, yeah?
What I ask you to do is hold up your phone, zoom in, and you too will see why we fight and why we must win.
Is it footage of October 7th and his QR code? Are you fucking
here.
kidding me? Is it going to send you to the fucking Hamas massacre page? Oh, God. Actual fucking clown shit. No, I will not let you put intel into my phone. I don't trust you.
On October 7th, Hamas carried out the worst attack on Jews since the Holocaust. They slaughtered 1,200 innocent people, including over 40 Americans and foreign nationals from dozens of countries represented here. They beheaded men. They raped women. They burnt babies alive. They burnt babies alive in front of their parents. What monsters. And these monsters took more than 250 people hostage. And those included Holocaust survivors, grandmothers and their grandchildren Who takes hostage grandmothers and grandchildren?
I'm still not actually sure if they... Is the baby's line confirmed? I don't believe it is. I believe 2 babies died on October 7th. One was shot through a door. The other one was shot when their mother was in labor. Like they were in the fucking belly and they died afterwards. They were born and then died. I think they lived for like 14 hours. There were definitely a few kids who were burnt, but like when their homes were, the shelters were set on fire by Hamas. That was what was going on there.
So far, we've brought home 207 of these hostages. But
what is this? This fucking psycho. What we got here? 70% of registered voters, Jewish registered voters in NYC, support the Zionist Holocaust in Gaza. Do you side more with the Israelis or more with the Palestinians? Jewish, Catholic, total 38-46. Is this here? Jews, strongly or somewhat with the Israelis. 7-17, don't know. 70. Wow. It's kind of mental how that word just became so normalized, but okay. Why did they... What's this? Is this for Kyle?
Throughout Israel, the anger boiled over.
Oh, fuck. Okay, he's misunderstood. Wait. I meant the bit with BB speaking. Did the bro say Holocaust? Or what? Yeah, no? Alright, whatever. Back to this.
48 still remain in the dungeons of Gaza. 20 of them are alive,
but
starved, tortured, deprived of any daylight, deprived of humanity.
Great merch opportunity.
These are the names of the 20 living hostages. Matan Angres.
Oh, I don't want to hear 20 names.
The picture of Evyatar David, emaciated, forced to dig his own grave. Maxim Herkin, Eitan Horn, Segev Kalfon, Bar Cooperstein, Omri Meran, Eitan Moore, Yosef Chaim Ochana.
I told you, we're Anti-Semite of the Week now. We're not hearing the names.
Lon Ohel, Avinatam Or, and Matan Tsen-Gawker. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to do something I've never done before. I want to speak from this forum directly to those hostages through loudspeakers. I've surrounded Gaza with massive loudspeakers connected to this microphone in the hope that our dear hostages will hear my message. And I'll say it first in Hebrew and then in English. Achenu HaGiburim.
But you guy won't even talk to a bunch of the fucking families. What's wrong with him? He's fucking psycho. My God.
ראש הממשלה בנימין נתניהו, אני פונה עליכם מעל בימת האו"ם. לא שכחנו אתכם, אפילו לא לשנייה. העם כולו איתכם, ואנחנו לא נשקוט ולא נרפה עד שנחזיר את כולכם הביתה. החיים והחללים כאחד. Our brave heroes. This is Prime Minister Netanyahu speaking to you live from the United Nations. We have not forgotten you, not even for a second. The people of Israel are with you. We will not falter and we will not rest until we bring all of you home. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks to special efforts by Israeli intelligence, my words are now also being carried. They're streamed live to the cell phones of Gazans. So to the remaining Hamas leaders and to the jailers of our hostages, I now say, lay down your arms. Let my people go. Free the hostages, all of them, the whole 48. Free the hostages now.
It's like, I feel like if you want to rely on Gazan protesters to take the fight to Hamas, I think the dumbest thing you can do is make the people who are trying to do that, because they do exist in Gaza still, the worst thing you can do is to make it look like they're being directed by Israel. This is so fucking stupid.
If you do, you will live. If you don't, Israel will hunt you down. Ladies and gentlemen, if Hamas agrees to our demands, the war could end right now. Gaza would be demilitarized, Israel would retain overriding security control, and a peaceful civilian authority would be established by Gazans and others committed to peace with Israel. And of course, you understand that the war in Gaza has affected every Israeli. But I'm sure there are people in New York or in London or in Melbourne and elsewhere who are probably thinking, what does all of this have to do with me? And the answer is everything. Because our enemies are your enemies. So let's do something else. So first at the UN, let's do a pop quiz. And raise your hand if you know the answer. Here's the first question. Who shouts death to America? Is it A,
no!
B, Hamas?
He's got another prop. It's so fucking cringe, man. Pop quiz. Okay, that's more like it. Fuck me. Jesus.
C, Hezbollah, D, the Houthis, or E, all of the above? All of the above.
All of the above. It's all of the above. Bro.
All of the above. Second question. Who has murdered Americans in Europe?
He should be getting music in the background, shouldn't he? Should not be getting this music in the background. Oh, let's see. So, should not be having this in the background? Does that not make more sense?
In cold blood. Is it A, Al-Qaeda? Who has murdered Americans and Europeans in cold blood? Is it A, Al-Qaeda, B, Hamas, C, Hezbollah, D, Iran, or E, all of the above?
Well, my wife really follows the Middle East politics, but I don't really pay that much attention when she talks about it. Do I want to? Should I ask the audience? I don't know. Oh no. I guess it could be B. It also could be D. Ooh. Fuck me, man. Fuck me. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. £25,000.
Correct. Again. So here's the point I wanted to make.
Uh-huh.
Our enemies hate all of us with equal venom. They want to drag the modern world back to the past, to a dark age of violence, fanaticism, and terror. I think many of you are already feeling in your own societies the radical Islamist surge. You know, I'm sure you do, you know deep down that Israel is fighting your fight. So I want to tell you a secret.
Oh, not
behind
a secret.
Closed doors.
Intel.
Many of
Dauber, thanks for the $5. He's gonna say the most fucking obvious, like brain dead shit. I've got to start this train myself. I'm going to bed, but when I wake up, I better not be disappointed, chat. Oh yeah, what, you're carrying the goal. That's true, you are carrying the goal. Give me more.
the leaders who publicly condemn us, privately thank us. They tell me how much they value Israel's superb intelligence services that have prevented time and again terrorist attacks in their capital, time and again saving countless lives. General George Keegan, former head of U.S. Air Force Intelligence, once said, "If the United States had to gather on its own the intelligence that Israel gives us, we would have to establish 5 CIAs. 5 CIAs.
Wow.
This past June, when Israel struck Iran's nuclear facilities, German Chancellor Merz admitted the truth. He said, Israel is doing the dirty work for all of us. President Trump understands better than any other leader that Israel and America face a common threat. He showed the world that when Iran and its proxies murder...
Whoa, thanks for the $19.99. I really appreciate that. That's so kind of you. Fuck. Dongo Manu, thanks for the $5. I stand with Dauber. Wow. Wow.
Americans, take Americans
Wait,
hostage.
is this good enough? Let's see. Can I make use of this?
The crowd was with him as he attacked Arafat.
Okay, but... Ah!
Hostage, shout death to America, burn American flags, and try to assassinate the President of the United States. Try to assassinate the President of the United States, not once, but twice. He showed them there is a price to pay for all that.
Why do we know nothing about these attempts? I've heard this before. but I only heard it reported in like it was like one newspaper that I didn't even recognize. So I don't know how. When they say that Iranians tried to assassinate Trump, was there like, did they get foiled before it started, or yeah, what's going on there? Does anyone know about this story? Yeah. Iran assassinate Trump. US charges man over alleged Iranian plot to kill Trump in 2024. Is this one of those things where they foiled it before they could even try? It was the third attempt. This is from 2024. This is from last year, November. The US government has brought charges against an Afghan national in connection with an alleged Iranian plot to assassinate Trump before he was elected as the next president. Farhad Shakiri, enter Shakiri, believed to be in Iran, describes the claims as completely baseless. So this was the DOJ, I guess Biden's DOJ, because it was November 8th. Murder for hire. Shakiri told prosecutors that his Iranian contacts asked him to plan a mass shooting to target Israeli tourists in Sri Lanka in October 2024, a year after the Hamas attacks on Israel. Huh, don't know. New Tommy G video. Who's Tommy G? What?
But regrettably, many leaders who are represented in this hall, they send a very different message. Sure, in the days immediately following October 7th, many of them supported Israel. But that support quickly evaporated when Israel did what any self-respecting nation would do in the wake of such a savage attack. We fought back. Now just imagine, just sit back for a second and imagine an attack against America proportioned to the attack against Israel on October 7th. Imagine a regime, a terror regime, dispatching thousands of terrorists to invade the United States. They massacre 40,000 Americans. They take 10,000 Americans hostage.
Whoa.
What do you think America would do? You think America would leave that regime standing? You don't think that. No way, not a chance. The United States would wipe out that terror regime and ensure that such savagery would never threaten America again. This is precisely what Israel is doing in Gaza. We're wiping out the terror regime of Hamas and ensuring that this savagery will never threaten Israel again. That's what we are doing. That's what any self-respecting government would do. Yet, and it's a yet that I'm sorry to say here, yet over time, many world leaders buckled. They buckled under the pressure of a biased media, radical Islamist constituencies, and anti-Semitic mobs.
Whoa.
There's a familiar saying, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. Well, for
okay, is this round 3 any good? Let's see.
And then the government of Yitzhak Rabin.
Based. Okay, so the reason I wanted that, god damn it, that took a while. Wait. Oh god, he's probably got like 1 billion tweets. He does. Okay. No, I was just wanting to quote this. What? Oh, I guess it's just not going to let me post the fucking video, is it? Why? Is it because my media player is still on, or what? Why is it being a dick? Huh. Okay, that's it playing. Come on. What if I just do a post? Why won't it upload? Convert video to Twitter format. Okay. I didn't know I had to do this. File added. Download? Download. The fuck? Whoa. Bro, I'm just trying to get this fucking clip. MP4? Is that what I needed? You working? This is a very time-consuming meme, guys. Fuck this. Oh, yeah, maybe. Okay. Fuck, it needs to be an MP4. Okay. It's just because Kyle is doing this shit. He's like, oh, I thought 2025 would look utopia. Oh no, it's an Al-Qaeda leader speaking at the UN. Oh no. Again, he's not been Al-Qaeda for like 8 years now. He's been actually working quite hard to get those elements out of his movement. That's why there's not any fucking international terror shit going on from his government or from his from HTS. So I was just thinking of being like you're kind of channeling here a little bit this energy. It's like the same shit, right?
And then the government of Yitzhak Rabin.
אני אומר כאן לממשלת ישראל שמתרפסת בפני האיש הזה. אני אומר לה של איש.
I think that's pretty fucking on the nose, isn't it? Let's see. What is this? This is one of the Netanyahu memes. This is a more niche one, though. Arab nationalist, Zionist. What Arafat says about me doesn't bother me. Not only he, but also a whole list of Arab and world politicians claim that I'm an agent of the Zionists or the CIA. Others state that I'm a mercenary of the French Secret Service and of the Soviet KGB. What Destiny says about me doesn't bother me, bud. Not only he, but a whole list of Bad and Panada fans claim I'm an agent of the Zionists or the CIA. Others state I'm a mercenary of the Qatari government and of the CCP or whatever. It's Jover chat. Who the fuck made this? What? That's a bit niche for me. That's very niche. That's very niche. Netanyahu channeling.
From what intelligence has gathered, it would be 9/11 times 100.
9/11 times 100? Jesus, that's...
Yes, 91,100.
Nice one. Well done. Really channeling that. Wait. Oh.
Many countries here, when the going got tough, you caved. And here's the shameful result of that collapse. For much of the past 2 years, Israel has had to fight a 7-front war against barbarism with many of your nations opposing us. Astoundingly, as we fight the terrorists who murdered many of your citizens, you are fighting us. You condemn us, you embargo us, and you wage political and legal warfare, it's called lawfare, against us. I say to the representatives of those nations, this is not an indictment of Israel. It's an indictment of you. It's an indictment of weak-kneed leaders who appease evil rather than support a nation whose brave soldiers guard you from the barbarians at the gate. They're already penetrating your gates.
We guard you while we sleep.
When will you learn? You can't appease your way out of jihad, and you won't escape the Islamist storm by sacrificing Israel. To overcome that storm, you have to stand with Israel. But that's not what you're doing. As the prophets of Israel foretold in the Bible, you've turned good into evil and evil into good. Now I want to drill down on this. Take the false charge of genocide. Israel is accused of deliberately targeting civilians. Ladies and gentlemen, the opposite
Hamas's Virgil. Shut up.
True. The head of urban warfare studies, Colonel John Spencer, he's perhaps the world's greatest expert on urban warfare. And he says,
all definitely not true, but okay.
Israel is applying more measures to minimize civilian casualties than any military in history. And because we're doing that, the ratio of non-combatant to combatant casualties is less than 2 to 1 in Gaza. That's an astoundingly low ratio, lower than NATO's.
Less than 2 to 1. They used to say 1 to 1 for ages. I guess they're being more, they've moved to less than 2 to 1. That's interesting.
Wars in Afghanistan and Iraq, especially when you consider that Gaza is one of the most densely populated urban areas on Earth. It has hundreds of miles of terror tunnels underground, and it has countless terror towers above ground.
Terror towers.
And thousands of terrorists embedded in the
towers
tunnels and in these towers in civilian areas. If you want to see what measures Israel takes to avoid civilian casualties in this war, just look at what we're doing now in Gaza City, the last Hamas stronghold, one of the 2 last strongholds. For 3 weeks, Israel dropped millions of leaflets, sent millions of text messages, and made countless phone calls urging civilians to leave Gaza City before our military moves in.
Can he be arrested now? Oh, he's in New York, isn't he? He's in New York. So I guess Mamdani should be, well, he's not really the mayor yet, though, is he? He still needs to, but he's running soon, isn't he? Mayor election, New York. He's not going to do a citizen's arrest. That would be a bit too much. It's November.
At the same time, Hamas implants itself in mosques, schools, hospitals, apartment buildings, and tries to force those civilians not to leave, to stay in harm's way. And it often threatens them at gunpoint if they try to do so. For Israel, every civilian casualty is a tragedy. For Hamas, it's a strategy. Hamas uses civilians as human shields and as props in its sick propaganda war in Israel, against Israel, a propaganda war that the Western media buys hook, line, and sinker. Now, despite Hamas's threats, close to 700,000 Gazans, almost 750,000, have already heeded our calls and moved to safe zones. Now I want to ask you a simple question, a simple, logical question.
Put it on the paper, put it on the placard.
Would a country committing genocide plead with the civilian population it is supposedly targeting to get out of harm's way? Would we tell them, get out, if we want to commit genocide? We're trying to get them out. And Hamas is trying to keep them in. And this charge is so baseless. The comparison to genocide, wholesale slaughter of populations. What, did the Nazis ask the Jews to leave, kindly leave, go out?
I mean, they initially did. Okay.
Others, you want me to name all the genocidal leaders of history?
He really just leaves himself open to it, doesn't he? He kind of just walks into it.
Just go one by one. Did anyone do this? Did they say, get out so we can come in? Of course not. So the truth has been turned on its head. Hamas, a genocidal terrorist organization whose charter calls for the murder of all Jews on the planet, this genocidal organization is given a pass. It's barely mentioned. While Israel, which does everything it can to get civilians out of harm's way, Israel is put in the dock. What a joke. You want to hear another one?
Uh-oh.
Israel is accused
Let's go.
of deliberately starving the people of Gaza.
Hey, good one.
When Israel is deliberately
My favorite
feeding
joke.
the people of
Zinger.
Gaza. Since the beginning of the war, Israel has led into Gaza more than 2 million tons of food and aid. That's 1 ton of aid for every man, woman, and child in Gaza. Nearly 3,000 calories per person per day. Some starvation.
Here are the speakers, Barak Ravid. Ooh. Oh yeah, there they are. They're on the fucking trucks. That's fucking crazy, man. Really channeling that Irgun energy.
Policy. If there are Gazans who don't have enough food, it's because Hamas is stealing it. Hamas steals it, hoards it, and sells it at exorbitant prices to fight its war machine.
Well, if they're stealing aid, then why did you block it? If you knew that they couldn't distribute it evenly because of Hamas theft, then why would you block extra aid going in? Why would you do that, baby?
Last month, even the UN, not exactly a supporter of Israel. You're supposed to laugh, by the way. Last month, even the UN admitted that Hamas and other armed groups looted 85% of the trucks.
Now, I saw a BBC article that suggested Hamas were like using aid to extort people, like selling it when they shouldn't have. 88%. This is from August 2025. FDD. I think this is only a recent thing. And I don't think they're going to blame Hamas for all the theft. I thought the article said there's no proof of theft. That's old news, buddy. Maybe this will link to wherever the UN said that. Oh God, why are you stuck? Fuck me. What does Kyle have against Jelani? I don't think Kyle knows anything about Jelani. I think he just heard that he's Al-Qaeda and probably heard through a grapevine that he is pro-Israel. Like, that's probably all he knows. I don't think he knows fucking anything. Can you please stop freezing? Piece of shit. Dude! 1 second. Okay.
That's why you have deprivation.
Oh my God. Will you do more Syria coverage? It's just a lot to take in. Okay, come on. Yeah, maybe. Maybe there's another big news story. We'll fucking fire into it. Data from the United Nations Office for Project Services, UNOPS, showed that between May 19th and August 5th, more than 2,600 trucks carrying aid from Israel into Gaza. However, only 300 of these trucks reached their intended destinations in Gaza during that period, with some 2,309 trucks being intercepted and looted along the delivery routes, undermining the recent claim of Tom Fletcher's a nutter, whatever, fuck him. We don't need to worry about his claim. Where's this data? Private merchants permitted to deliver aid. They're not saying anything about Hamas taking it, but I guess if you're Netanyahu, they're all Hamas, even if it's a fucking gang that opposes them. Israel will begin to allow the controlled entry of goods into Gaza through local merchants, expanding the effort into the private sector, according to an August 5th statement by Kogat. Aims to increase the volume of aid entering into the Gaza Strip. GHF operational update. These guys still chugging. So this is what they're saying. They haven't said anything about looting by Hamas in particular. They've just said looting. Now, where is... They said the date range would be May 19th and August 5th. May 19th to... Let's go to August 5th. Oh, shit. May 19th to August 5th. Now, where do they say... This is 3,000. Oh, it's another retroactive updating, probably. Where is the... That's not important now. Wait! Oh, this might be good for truck data. How much the trucks weigh. Anyway, hang on. Where does it say that they reached their destination or not? Oh, different date range. Where is reach their destination? Is it here? Am I being a fucking moron? Let's see, May 19th to August 5th. Arrived to the intent. Oh, okay, yeah, I see. 3,000 trucks crossed the border. 395 reached their intended destination. Okay, that's quite bad. But this does not mean that Hamas took them all. This just means that they were... It might also mean they just weren't distributed, wouldn't it? Did every single one of these trucks get actually... Did every one of these loads get moved into the strip? I need to see more to see how strong that claim is, because this is not really selling it. Intercepted. Wait, what does this say? Oh, May 19th, August 5th, 2691. Where's intercepted? They've put it in quotes. Intercepted, either peacefully. Oh, okay. 2,600. Oh, okay. So they totally were intercepted. Either peacefully by hungry people or forcefully by armed actors. So Netanyahu's just said that this is all Hamas, even the peacefully hungry people. Okay, well, you use a grain of truth and turn it into a mountain of lies. Wow. A throne, if you will. I'm going to log some of these numbers for different reasons, though. So I can probably do both, because I wasn't sure about weights before, was I? We had an issue there. More data on truck loads. All right. Let's go here. This is much more data than we had before. World Food Program sample from 2025. Well, I would say May 19th to August 5th, 2025. How much is each truck? Calculator. 32,074, let's say 75 for rounding up, divided by 2,518 trucks, 12 tons. It's quite low, quite low. Much lower than we thought from earlier. Let's see. So that's World Food Program, 2,518 trucks carrying 32,075 tons. 12.7 tons per truck. What do we have from Central Kitchen? Sample was a WFP. Okay. WCK. This is 292 trucks carrying 3,747 tons. 3,747 divided by 292. 12.8. They're fairly consistent. UNICEF. 1704. Well, 1705 divided by 183. 9 tons. That's insanely low. UNICEF. Interesting. Actually, I wonder if this would summarize for the entire war to make it, well, carrying 3,555 tons equals 9.3 tons per truck. Okay. Strongly Tylenol-coded behavior. Nice. Let's take that tracking data. More data. But you doubt metrics remain that consistent. Well, this starts on May 19th, this date range. So this is all very recent. Goes up until today. So this is new data collection, this new mechanism, I guess. You can look at the total. I am doing this right, am I? 87425 divided by 7823. 11.1 tons per truck. UNOPS. UN 2720, mechanism for Gaza, up to September 26, 7823 trucks carrying 87,425 tons equals 11.17 tons per truck. Okay, got him. Bye-bye.
Those who peddled the blood libels of genocide and starvation against Israel are no better than those who peddled blood libels against the Jews in the Middle Ages when they falsely accused us of poisoning wells, spreading plague, and using the blood of children to bake Passover matzahs. Anti-Semitism dies hard. In fact, it doesn't die at all. It just keeps coming back with its libelous lies, refurbished, regurgitated over and over again. And I want to tell you something else. These anti-Semitic lies, they have consequences. In recent months, Jews have been assaulted in Canada, Australia, Britain, France, the Netherlands, and elsewhere. Here in America, an elderly Holocaust survivor was burned to death in Colorado. And a beautiful young couple from the Israeli embassy in Washington was brutally gunned down right in front of the Holocaust Museum there. Thankfully, President Trump's administration is forcefully fighting the scourge of anti-Semitism, and every government here should follow its lead. But instead, many do the opposite. They actually reward the worst anti-Semites on earth. This week, the leaders of France, Britain, Australia, Canada, and other countries unconditionally recognized a Palestinian state. They did so after the horrors committed by Hamas on October 7th. Horrors praised on that day by nearly 90% of the Palestinian population. Now, let me say that again.
Do we know anything about that Boulder firebombing? It actually killed someone. I didn't see if there was any. The charges are 25th of June. So yeah, I don't think there's been any update.
Nearly 90% of Palestinians supported the attack on October 7th.
May 2025. In May 2025, it would be so interesting to see this poll post-recognition from France and the UK especially. Let's see. He's actually wrong. The majority of Gazans oppose it now. West Bank is still going strong, but it's declining. Yeah, it seems like, quite a strong majority of Gazans oppose it and have done for about a year now. I do wonder if this is going to change in the next poll. But who knows? Who knows?
It's not supported only. They celebrated it. They danced on the rooftops. They threw candies. That's both in Gaza and in
It's
Judea.
never been 90 as far as I know.
Samaria, the West Bank as you call it. And it's just the way they celebrated another horror, 9/11. They danced on the rooftops, they cheered, they threw candy. You know what message the leaders who recognize the Palestinian state this week sent to the Palestinians? It's a very clear message. Murdering Jews pays off. Well, I have a message for these leaders. When the most savage terrorists on earth are effusively...
Slight breaking news. Trump, most likely with a plane or a helicopter in the background.
Have maybe a deal on Gaza, very close to a deal on Gaza. How are you? Hello, Peter. And it's looking like we have a deal on Gaza. And we'll let you know. I think it's a deal that will get the hostages back. It's going to be a deal that will end the war.
2 weeks.
It's going to be a deal with, it's going to be peace. I think we have a deal. That'll be number 8, Peter. Not bad.
Not bad. Maybe close. I see. Maybe close. We'll see. American Progressive, thanks for the tier 1 sub. How can Netanyahu be so boring yet so unhinged? The more psychos you meet, the more you realize that most of them are quite boring. Godzilla, thanks for the tier 2 sub. Sorry, Box, I'm going on vacation and keeping my money. Well, that's a shame, because now everyone else is going to have to pay for your mistakes. Fuck. Guys, the goal. There's a super chat goal over there, okay? Teal or above super chat will contribute to the goal. If you want a TTS to get your voice read out by a cute AI voice, you gotta donate $10 or more, okay? Do not make me get a job.
Praising your decision. You didn't do something right. You did something wrong, horribly wrong. Your disgraceful decision will encourage terrorism against Jews and against innocent people everywhere. It will be a mark of shame on all of you. But wait a minute, Mr. Prime Minister, they tell me. Wait a minute. We believe in a two-state solution where the Jewish state of Israel will live side by side in peace with the Palestinian state. There's only one problem with that. The Palestinians, they don't believe in this solution. They never have. They don't want a state next to Israel. They want a Palestinian state instead of Israel. And that's why every time they were offered a Palestinian state, but were required to end the conflict with Israel and recognize the Jewish state, every time, over the decades, they turned it down. And that is why every time they were given territory, they used it to attack us. In fact, they effectively had a Palestinian state in Gaza. So what did they do with that state?
Fucking Christ,
Peace?
man.
Coexistence? No. They attacked us time and time again.
The funny thing is that when they were trying to get a peace agreement with Palestinians, this motherfucker was opposing it the whole time. He's just fucking cunt.
Totally unprovoked. They fired rockets into our cities. They murdered our children. They turned Gaza into a terror base.
It's funny that the whole debate around turning up the temperature or turning down the temperature is coming in now, because someone who was very guilty of this, of amping up rhetoric against his political opponents to a point that it got one of them killed, it was Netanyahu. He was holding protests accusing Rabin of liaising with a murderer, with a guy who was going to murder the Jews. And it was mostly over keeping East and West Jerusalem united as part of Israel. Like, that was his big message. It wasn't even about safety or anything else, like, or about the fact that he's not trustworthy. It was about fucking Jerusalem. And there were people in the crowd who were talking about blood and fire and expelling Rabin and comparing him to Hitler and putting a keffiyeh on his head, comparing him to Arafat, walking around with fucking mock coffins. And Netanyahu was asked to turn down the rhetoric, and he just didn't. He ignored it. He completely ignored it. And then, shortly afterwards, Rabin dies. He gets shot by a far-right Israeli.
From which they committed the October 7th massacre. So here's the uncomfortable truth. The persistent rejection of a Jewish state in any boundary is what has driven this conflict for over a century. It is still driving it. It's not the absence of a Palestinian state. It's the presence and existence of a Jewish state. And I find it amazing. Amazing. That the foreign chancelleries and the ministries and all those who pontificate about this, and the leaders, how can they not see this basic truth when it is repeated again and again and again ad nauseum? And I want to say something else. This rejection of a Jewish state not only applies to Hamas, it also applies to the so-called moderate Palestinian Authority. You should know that the Palestinian authorities pays terrorists to slay Jews. The more Jews the terrorists slay, the more the Palestinian Authority pays. The Palestinian Authority names its government buildings, its public squares, its...
This was actually a Times of Israel report from not long ago. PA document shows pay to slay has been scrapped, new system in place. It says it's completed the establishment of a new welfare program, finished phasing out a previous system that critics claimed incentivized terror attacks against Israelis, according to an update Ramallah shared with interlocutors that was obtained by the Times of Israel. Prepared by the Palestinian National Economic Empowerment Institution, states that new criteria for adjudicating welfare stipends have been adopted, that over 3,000 individuals were accordingly notified they would no longer qualify for government assistance. Is he just kind of like copy-pasting his speech from last year? The fuck? Pager jokes and all.
Schools after the mass murderers of Jews, which they glorify as martyrs. They pay and glorify not just the killer of Jews, but also killers of Christians. Christians like Taylor Force, an American veteran who was brutally murdered in Israel by Palestinian terrorists. But, that I hear from the Western leaders.
Oh.
They tell me, the PA promised us it will reform. And I know this time, Prime Minister, it will be different. Yeah, right. We've heard these promises for decades. They always promise.
Well, that's a pretty strong
argument. They
argument.
never deliver. Because you see, the Palestinian Authority is corrupt to the core.
See, I thought the pay for slay, the pay for slay in the textbooks. These are the kind of the two main arguments they use against the PA. I kind of believe that half of those issues were kind of addressed with new policy. But I guess when you say, yeah, right, yeah, right. Yeah, I suppose when you put it that way, I kind of want to reconsider my entire position on the Palestinian Authority, dude. Fuck me.
They haven't held elections in 20 years. They use the same textbooks as Hamas, exactly the same textbooks. They teach their children to hate Jews and destroy the Jewish state. And Christians don't fare much better. When Bethlehem, the birthplace of Jesus, was under Israeli control, 80% of its residents were Christians. But since the PA took control, that number has dwindled to under 20%. These are the people you want to give a state to? What you're doing is giving the ultimate reward to intolerant fanatics who perpetrated and supported the October 7th massacre.
People in West Bank perpetrated?
A state 1 mile from Jerusalem after October 7th is like giving Al-Qaeda a state 1 mile from New York City after September 11th.
Oh, no.
This is sheer madness. It's insane, and we won't do it.
Please clap.
So here's another message to those Western leaders. Israel will not allow you to shove a terror state down our throats. We will not commit national suicide because you don't have the guts to face down a hostile media and anti-Semitic mobs demanding Israel's blood. And I want you to grasp something else, which is also distorted in the media. I say this not only in my name or the name of my government, but on behalf of all the people of Israel. Last year, there was a vote in the Knesset, our parliament, whether or not to oppose the imposition of a Palestinian state. You want to guess what the results were?
Uh-oh.
Out of 120 members of our parliament,
they were all like, nah.
99 voted against, and only 9 supported.
Starmer to demand PA stops pay to slay, and I think there's also something about the education thing here as well. So what? The sequencing is really odd here because they have recognized the state. They're just saying that we won't double recognize, or we won't like. Let's see. He will tell Palestinian officials that they must stop paying the families of terrorists before Britain can open. It's just like full diplomatic relations. Okay. Backlash over his decision to formally recognize Palestine, a move that threatens ties with Israel and the United States. Sir Keir will now insist that the Palestinian Authority ends its pay-to-slay policy by handing out stipends to the families of martyrs killed or detained for attacks on Israelis. The demand was part of a series of required reforms before any two-state solution is finalized. Before any finalized, okay. Overhaul of school textbooks deemed anti-Semitic. Fresh elections before Britain opens an embassy in. You want the PA to have fresh elections? Are you fucking? Are you mental? I think that's probably not the best idea given the current circumstances, but okay. Opens embassy in East Jerusalem. So before they open their embassy, they want to overhaul the education system. What did France say? Israel's focusing its retribution on France right now. Nice one. Hello. Hello.
About the pay to slay thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know how originally it started, right? Like, what was the purpose of it?
It was welfare for like families that got killed, right?
Welfare for the families that lost their breadwinner, pretty much.
Yeah.
So, do you think if the PA does that, like welfare for families that lose their breadwinner, is that still a bad thing?
Well, I think that's the new system, isn't it? The new system, I think, is supposed to exempt or exclude people, who are
committing terror.
Yeah. Isn't that the idea?
Yeah, but Israel still goes in and demolishes a house of that family.
But wait, isn't also that hang on, isn't one of the problems now that the pay also goes to prisoners, or?
I'm not sure about prisoners.
Let me find out.
As far as I'm aware, is if it goes to the family money if they don't have their main income anymore, which is like the person that died.
Yeah, I thought it was. Let me find. I think you can actually find the law because it's amended in 2004. But it's probably going to be a circular
it's been amended?
It was amended in 2004. Yeah.
So it was in 2004 that they fixed it?
Appendix
that it
5.
Wasn't like for terror text? Okay,
well, I believe this is the whole text. Because I thought it applied to attackers as well. For let's see. Law number 14. Aid for prisoners.
Wait, did you think that people that did that attack get money too?
Not just the wording of this suggests they might. Let me see. If we go to prisoners law, aid for prisoners in Israeli prisons. Oh yeah, these are all it's like a list of laws. Okay, so following examination by the PA chairman of the amended basic law, in accordance with what was approved by the Legislative Council in November 2004, sorry. Following law, all instances of the following terms and expressions have the specific meaning defined below. Prisoner.
So they don't
wait.
Prisoner.
All instances of the following terms have the specific meaning defined unless the context indicates otherwise. Prisoner. Anyone incarcerated in the occupation's prisons for his participation in the struggle against the occupation. The special account for prisoners within the aid fund for victims of Israeli aggression in the Al-Aqsa Intifada, and the aid fund for victims of Israeli aggression in the Al-Aqsa Intifada. Under this law, a special account will be opened as part of the fund dedicated to supporting the steadfastness of the prisoners and their families. The account sources of funding will consist of the following. Monies deducted from the salaries of Palestinian Authority civil servants and employees in favor of the account. The overall sum deducted will not exceed the wages paid out for 1 day out of the fiscal year, and the government will take a decision regarding the deduction following the Legislative Council's approval. A budget allotted by the Finance Ministry for the account of the general budget, donations and grants. Do we have the original here? I'm curious to see how this amendment has changed. Prisoners and released prisoners are a fighting sector and an integral part of the fabric of Palestinian Arab society. The provisions of this law guarantee them and their families. Yeah, it seems like it goes to prisoners as well for their struggle. Unless this has changed in 2004.
And then they reformed it to what in 2004?
No, 2004 is what it was. This was after the reform, yeah.
Okay, so what is the new change? Because they said they did change it, like they have a new system in place.
Yeah, let's see. Where is this article? Let's see. TOI.
Question.
Yeah.
About something.
Yeah.
I was having a bit of a conversation earlier. Regarding that. Some Israelis are expressing concerns that the Israeli public will vote right-wing again for Likud because of the Palestinian recognition. What do you say to that? What do you say to that?
You think people are going to be more likely to go right wing because of the recognition?
No, some Israelis expressed that like concern. I don't think that's how Israelis are going to vote.
I think they probably would. I think the right wingers, they benefit for. I think the more isolated Israel gets, the more right wingers like that, because that's their entire message. It's always to be like, see, the rest of the world hates you. Yeah.
Yeah, but like the response from the Israelis expressing the concerns that instead of recognizing a Palestinian state, these leaders should have always been supportive of the left in Israel, which they've always been, as far as I'm aware. They've been always supportive of Israel no matter what, until like recently.
Maybe. Well, like Western leaders.
Yeah, Western leaders.
Yeah, but they haven't been. So.
How haven't they been supportive?
Well, how haven't the West been supportive of the Israeli left?
But prior to October 7th, like how have they not been supportive of Israel?
No, I mean after October 7th. Like
yeah, no, but like they're like, for example, the reasoning for like why right wingers won is because the Western leaders always shat on Israel and always made it seem like Israel's alone, which is why Israelis vote right wing. Which is like
it's not just that though. Obviously, I think it's more of like the second Intifada fallout mostly, and then the rockets. I think that's probably the main reason. But now that now that the physical military threats are gone, then I think isolation on the world stage might be the thing that right wingers hold on to.
I hope this, like, if Israelis vote right wing again, like, more like just a similar right where like you have Smotrich and Ben Gvir in the government. I don't know what the fuck. I'm just super doomer about it. I cannot like.
Yeah, but I guess the other thing though is like international isolation or international condemnation is probably not quite as powerful as rockets. I think rockets probably still have more of an effect. This is saying that a Palestinian source familiar with the matter told TOI that several hundred families of prisoners, a small portion of the total number of prisoners' families, have been informed that they would continue receiving stipends as they qualify based on their economic status. However, they will receive payments moving forward through the PNEEI rather than the Prisoners and Martyrs funds. So yeah, I think it does seem to be that prisoners themselves will be.
Is this a new change?
Yeah, let's see. The update indicates that the PA has been making good on the decree signed by Mahmoud Abbas in February, which cancelled legislation that enshrined in law elements of its old welfare system that paid security prisoners based on the length of their sentence, along with families of slain attackers. Yeah, it does seem to be that attackers are going to be the prisoners are the ones who don't get the payments anymore.
Okay, so like families still get the.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I don't know how to feel about this because, like, you know how, like, at least for Palestinian Israelis, like the hatred is there, but a lot of them are like not aware of an attack is about to happen until the attack has happened for the families.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, well, if the families lose their breadwinner, and especially, I think it makes sense
if he does a terror attack, like, that's my thing. Even if he does do a terror attack, if that family's like they lose their breadwinner, they'd like have no income anymore.
Yeah, but it's like, I mean, I don't recall anywhere else in the world where that generally happens, though, as well, right? So, say for example, someone in my family commits a murder, no one's going to pay. The government's not going to give me money for it, right? Or, it would just be a general welfare thing if you lose your breadwinner. If it comes to this, though, I'm guessing it's because families bear the brunt of the Israeli military as well. Like they bear the brunt of like house demolitions, or they get harassed by
I'm pretty sure Israel's still gonna like demolish houses of like said terrorists.
Yeah, which is why the PA would be in the right to pay the family if that's still happening. I mean, there'd be if the family was left alone, there'd be a much better argument for just ending all of it. But
here we live in a society that's not necessarily like women work all the time.
Well, wouldn't that just be a general welfare thing, though?
If they have that system in place, sure, but I don't think they have systems like that in place. Like, remember, it's a de facto government. It's not really. It doesn't have all what it can do.
Well, it might be worth reading the whole thing because I can see all the articles here translated to English. I'm hoping they're correct because I don't know if I'd find the Arabic ones, but this seems legit. I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. Anyway, I need to go back to this speech.
Fucking retarded ass speech.
All right. Here we go.
That's over 90%. It's not a fringe group. It's not the prime minister who himself is extreme or he's held hostage by extreme parties to his right. It's over 90% of Israelis. My opposition to a Palestinian state is not simply my policies or my government's policy. It's the policy of the state and people of the state of Israel.
Well, that's not helping.
Western leaders may have buckled under the pressure. And I guarantee you one thing, Israel won't. Israel's victories over the Iranian... Thank you, I know you won't too, that's good. Israel's victories over the Iranian terror axis have opened up possibilities for peace that were unthinkable 2 years ago. Take Syria. For decades, the very idea of peace between Israel and Syria seemed unimaginable. Well, no more. Today, we have begun serious negotiations with the new Syrian government. I believe an agreement can be reached that respects Syria's sovereignty and protects both Israeli security and the security of the minorities in the region, including the Druze minority. From the founding of Israel, Jews and Druze have been brothers in arms. We have fought together, we've bled together, we built our lives together. When I was a young commander in Israel's Special Forces,
Special Forces
was saved by the invaluable advice given to me by a great friend, Salim Shufi, a heroic Druze IDF veteran. And that's why I couldn't sit idly by, nor could Israel sit idly by, while the Druze were being slaughtered by jihadists. And I instructed our forces to stop the massacre, which they promptly did. Peace between Israel and Lebanon is possible as well. I call on the Lebanese government to also begin direct negotiations with Israel. I commend it for its declared aim to disarm Hezbollah. But we need more than words. If Lebanon takes genuine and sustained action to disarm Hezbollah, I'm sure we can achieve a sustainable peace. Of course, until that happens, we will take whatever action we need to defend ourselves and to maintain the conditions of the ceasefire which was established in Lebanon. Our goal is not merely to monitor Hezbollah's actions, but to prevent them from violating the ceasefire and attacking us at any time. But I'm sure that if the Lebanese government persists in its goal of disarming Hezbollah, peace will come very speedily and very readily.
Whoa. Bodo, thanks for tuning us up.
Hezbollah has made peace possible with our two Arab neighbors in the north. Victory over Hamas will make peace possible with nations throughout the Arab and Muslim world. Our victory would lead to a dramatic extension and expansion of the historic Abraham Accords, which President Trump brokered between Arab leaders and myself.
Sean Little, thanks for £2. Any chance you release all Obsidian notes? Not all of them, because some of them are just me, like, I don't really want to have Obsidian notes published where sometimes I've just linked something so I can remember it's there. And yeah, I don't really fancy those things being published because people are going to be like, you know, gotta have some privacy. But I'll put stuff together for the one I was doing yesterday because that's almost done.
Years ago. And I took note, as I'm sure you did too, of the encouraging words spoken here by the president of Indonesia. This is the country with the largest Muslim population of all nations. And it's also a sign of what could come. Forward-looking Arabs and Muslim leaders know that cooperating with Israel will provide them with groundbreaking Israeli technologies, including in medicine and science, in agriculture and water, in defense and AI, and so many other fields. I believe that in the coming years, the Middle East will look dramatically different. Many of those who wage war on Israel today will be gone tomorrow. Brave peacemakers will take their place. And nowhere will this be more true than in Iran. The long-suffering Iranian people will regain their freedom. They will make Iran great again. And our two ancient peoples, the people of Israel and the people of Iran, will restore a friendship that will benefit the entire world. Ladies and gentlemen, the horrors that happened on one dark day, October 7th, those horrors happened countless times during the centuries of my people's exiles among the nations. Jewish blood was cheap. Jews were killed with impunity. We had to beg others to defend us. The rise of Israel did not mean that
haven't heard any real pushback from Loner yet. That's because I love this man. What?
Attempts to destroy us would end. It meant that we could fight back against those attempts. And that is exactly what Israel has done since October 7th. Our sons and daughters fought like lions.
Jesus Christ.
Our brave soldiers donned their uniforms and rushed into battle. They were armed with the dreams of the 100
I don't even know, like, most of the stuff he's saying is just fucking narrative. It's like when he gives factual statements or when he does like the fucking quiz shit, yeah, I'll talk about that plenty, but what do we have going on here? Like, our soldiers fought and they fought bravely. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm sure they did. I'm sure they did fight. Like, what?
Generations of Jews who came before them. The dream of living as a free people in the land of Israel, our beloved homeland for more than 3,000 years. The dreams of living in our own independent state. The dream of having an army to defend ourselves. And the dream of being a light unto the nation.
The dream of having permanent buffer zones and settlements around the territory that we apparently don't want, but also really want. Fuck, man.
A beacon of progress, ingenuity, innovation for the benefit of all humanity. On October 7th, the enemies of Israel tried to extinguish that light. 2 years later, the resolve of Israel and the strength of Israel burned brighter than ever. With God's help, that strength and that resolve would lead us to a speedy victory and to a brilliant future of prosperity and peace. Thank you very much.
On behalf of the Assembly, I wish to thank the Prime Minister of the State of Israel.
Fucking first period ass reception. Okay. Is the Loner Netanyahu bridge over? Yes, I believe so. Yeah. All that money was not worth, all those shekels, not worth it. Not worth it. Apology tour incoming. Subscribe, you fucking assholes. I mean, sorry.